Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's been a few days, quite a few days, more than a few, I guess, at this point since I posted a video, but definitely time to post one here. I've been kind of sick, not feeling great, and had so much stuff going on to get done that I just was putting the videos aside and focusing on things with the business elsewhere, getting shipments out, buying inventory, and working on getting new listings posted. So tonight is going to be a busy night getting a new collection that I purchased loaded up on the eBay store as I'm losing cards out of it, but I forgot there were some loose cards in here. Whoops. Luckily none of them are very expensive, but we got this big giant top loader binder full of illustration rares and special illustration rares, and it is a very big collection that I purchased. Got a good price on it. Not an amazing deal, but a good enough deal that'll work for the margins I need. I really needed more inventory for eBay. I was kind of starting to run out of I still have a decent stock, but I didn't want to just keep burning through all of my kind of backup inventory that I list when I don't have new collections coming in the door. But that one's about a $4,300 collection that I picked up. And the moral of the story here, the thing I wanted to chat through today on this video is if you're buying inventory and you're working with people trying to come up with a deal to buy their collections, you're negotiating and you've got a number that you come up with that you're comfortable with, don't just give in and overpay for a collection just because it's a collection you want. This happens to be a collection with a lot of really, really cool cards, as you can imagine, if I paid that much for it. But as much as I wanted it and as cool as the cards are that are in this collection, I had a number that I gave to the seller and they wanted more, and I was okay walking away. A lot of times I've actually found that, at least in the local deals, when I'm negotiating, when I'm willing to walk away from a deal is usually when they finally come back to the table and give me a better price than what they were trying to get. And in this case, it took a couple extra days. So I was going back and forth messaging this gal, coming up with a deal. She sent me her collector list, and like it often does, collector was over-reporting the value of the collection. She was reporting, or collector was reporting it at about a $4,500 collection, and it was a good amount of cards, but I still went through and I kind of picked through specific cards, double checking prices. Most of them were pretty close, but as usual, any of those cards that were not listed as near mint. So there are a few cards in here that were listed as light played, one heavily played, and maybe a couple of moderately played. And the thing that collector does is they just take a percentage of the near mint price, and that's what they estimate the value in. And there's no way, the percentages they use is nowhere near what it should actually be. So in one instance, there's a Mewtwo full art near mint condition, I think was like $50-ish, somewhere in that range. This one was a heavy plate. It had actually damage. It had creases in it and stuff. If you actually look at the TCG player value, I think it was about $15. But the collector app was listing it as a $40 card, like $35 or $40 card. So well over double the value of what it truly was. And I was negotiating with her and kind of pointing those things out, and she just didn't really believe me, I guess, at first, that it was misvaluing her collection. I made the offer that I normally make. I try to offer my best offer up front because it's competitive out there. I don't want to lose collections to other people over a small percent. So I made her my strong offer. She said no because she was valuing her collection higher than I was. And a couple days later, messaged me back and said, hey, are you still interested in the collection? I'm willing to come down to your number. The moral of the story is do your own research, figure out what a collection is worth, make an offer that you're comfortable paying. And if it comes down to it, you got to be okay with walking away. In the end, I was okay with walking away if I didn't get it for the number I needed, the number I wanted. She continued to shop around her collection, found out that I had the strongest and best offer, and came back to me. So even though she initially said no to my offer, I stuck to my gut. I stuck to the number I was comfortable paying. And in the end, like I said, she came back. I got it for the price I was comfortable paying. And we've now got, about a $4,300 collection that we're going to be able to get listed and have a bunch of new sweet inventory for eBay. And there's a few cards in there that I'm going to hold on to for a little while. I typically don't hold on to cards. Like when I buy a collection, I pretty much list every card as fast as possible. There's a few cards in here that I just have a feeling are going to be going up in value. It's a very, very popular set, and it's gone through, some of the cards have gone through super hyperinflation, and some of the cards have gotten depressed in value, and I think eventually they're going to go up as people catch up to speed to collecting them as the set gets older. I'm wondering if any of you are starting to figure out what set I'm talking about. I will tell you in a minute, but essentially the top end cards have really shot up in value. The middle and lower tier cards, some of them have gone up, some of them have gone down and are kind of flatlining here and kind of basing out. And I think because they've held at a pretty steady price for a while, that they're going to start going up, and people are going to start collecting those as well as the middle and higher tier cards that have already gone up in value. And the set I'm talking about is Ascended Heroes. So it's a very, very popular set. As you guys know, there's a lot of hits in the set. It's going to be a difficult set for people to master set in the future. But that being said, it's going to become a very, very popular set in the long run, I believe. And even though it's still a pretty new set, it has been out long enough that I don't think the cards are going to go any lower than they already have. Just like sets often do, the longer they're around, eventually they start going up in value. So any of the Ascended Heroes illustrations that are kind of pulled back and they're kind of flat and they haven't really gone up in price yet, I'm going to hold those back in my reserve inventory and post them at a future date. I don't want to post them at a super high price and have people come in and be like, what the heck, why do you have a $4 card priced at $8 or something, So I'm going to hold on to those. I'm going to let them simmer and marinate for a while, see what happens with Ascended Heroes. So that's my play. Like I said, I usually don't sit on cards. I usually don't sit on inventory at all. But I'm getting to a point where I've got enough inventory, enough cash flow coming in and out of the door that I think I'll be okay sitting on a handful of relatively low value. We're talking $20 and under cards. It's not going to be a ton of cards anyways, but I'm going to start gathering and collecting as many of those Ascended Heroes cards that I feel are undervalued right now as I can, and just kind of sit on them as an investment. If you're new and starting out a TCG business selling cards, I don't really recommend sitting on inventory like this. I'm kind of not listening to my own advice here. My advice is typically churn and burn as fast as possible. You need that money flowing in and out as fast as possible so you can keep snowballing everything. Let me know if you think I'm wrong or right, or if you have something else that you guys are making a play on, let me know. But that's the topic for today. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you find any value or entertainment out of my channel, please consider liking the video, subscribing, and turning on that notification bell to see my next video post. Thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. God bless.